You talk about the ply. So you spin it one way really fast, and then you take these spun things, and I'm just going to take 3 empty spools. And here's one already here. This is a leftover. You spin it one way, you ply it the opposite direction.
Okay.
So, and there's more math. So here's the math hits down here. 2-ply alpaca is half the spin rate. So we have to write it down because you 2-ply, it's all different numbers. So if your spin rate is 6 over there, for a 2-ply, it's going to be 3 because you divide it in half, right?
Okay.
Half the spin rate. 3-ply alpaca, I already put the equation here.
So
6 divided by 3. So this is the example because math is hard for people. It's hard. And once you get it, you get it. And it's that magic moment when somebody gets it. So we actually have the equations written down here for people.
But I think this is a great example of something that you wouldn't think that you would need a lot of math to spin yarn.
Yeah,
But
well, what I was saying, my son was so good at it because he'd look at those numbers and he's got like this calculus brain, but whereas I'm more of the feel. And I think I do a better job than him because I'm feeling
the
it.
human element in there.
So we got the cheat sheet. So you put these would be full. You put these up here. So it's all been spun one way. These full bobbins. So now this machine, this is also a spinner. I can use this machine as a spinner, but it is set up to go backwards. So it's a plier in each of the machines. So, and I actually have, these are the little safety lasers. So if one of these breaks, this thing will fall, and there's a laser thing. So you don't run a 3-ply and have it break off. So I have it's a 3-ply there. It goes down through this. I have all the spinning parts of it sitting over here because I took them off so I can yarn it as a plier. So I start the spin. You can see the twist. And this also goes through another laser here. So if anything breaks, it'll stop the machine. But these go on these bigger bobbins. And you didn't see that rotation over there, but I'm putting that on backwards. Bigger weight down here because it's thicker. You see that bigger weight? The other one was smaller. And it's, once again, you see this dirt? We do go through every couple of weeks and we clean these out. But each time you process this yarn, alpaca and llama just, they have it in it's in their scales. And one thing we look at here is the twist, which is the spinning rate, and this is at 2. So this was a 3-ply, so we know it was spun at 6, 3-ply. Okay, and then it goes on this here, all spun up.
So that's why you get nice multicolor yarn.
Yeah, we sometimes we do that with the end spools, but you see, you can do blending here as well. You have blending in the carder and the drafter. You can blend it here.
Now this kid's is still a really thin yarn. I might use this to knit some socks or something if I were knitting something.
Yeah, this is a
weight.
sport-ish weight. Yeah, it's not a finger ring.
No?
No. It's done by weight. Once again, you have to get an ounce of that, and then divide it by how many yards are in an ounce, and then that determines the weight. Oh gosh. This is alpaca that we just got done, and you can see, I took it from these spools, and I put it on a cone winder just so I could get it off the spools. So then, but I added some merino to this at 10%. So that ups the weight. So this is going to be around 240 pounds of completed alpaca. It's all math, but it's not big math, you know? It's a...
Now, is alpaca that you buy spun up like this, is it typically spun with some other kind of wool, some sheep wool, or is it...
So it depends. This was, you remember when I was talking about the blanket being the fine fiber? Of the Kriya, that stuff is usually spun at 100% alpaca, more math. So this wasn't that fine of fiber. This was a little bit lower grade of fiber. Still usable, but we put a little merino in it, and we do that at the carder
Okay.
to blend it in,
Yeah.
to give this alpaca a little loftiness, a little softness, a little staying power.
Yeah.
Because when the alpaca starts to get lower in quality, the fiber gets longer and straighter. And if you put a little merino in it, and I showed you the merino up front, it's got that real kinky look to it. It helps bind it together. It doesn't degrade it helps it. You know?
Yeah.
A little bit of merino is a great thing. It's like adding butter to cook it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing. It's a little bit more in the process. I mean,
Uh-huh.
and merino isn't cheap either. So these are these cones, and I have this machine set at 150 yards. So we have a standard skein length that comes out of here at 150 yards. So if somebody calls me and says, "What did you spin these at?" And I said, "If you didn't indicate what you wanted, we spin it at 150 yards." Whew, that was such a big decision, but it made problems a lot less. You know, we didn't spin it at 125 or 175. So this one has been spun into skeins. This is my half of this big alpaca order, right?
Okay.
So I spun and plied everything all at the same weight. So when people buy it, they know that this is all the colors will be all the same weight.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Uh-huh.
You know, the problem is the animals are all different.
Yeah, and so I see 3 different colors here. Is that just the 3 different animals or 3 different colors? Or is
Well,
that...
if it's brown is pretty much a color that alpaca comes in.
Yeah.
Alpaca come in a lot of different colors.
Uh-huh.
They do.
Yeah.
Shades of white, brown, orange, rust.
Uh-huh.
This is a pretty traditional brown color. This one here.
Yeah.
This one was a cream color that we added some brown. This was a cream colored animal that we just added brown merino to give it a different shade.
Yeah, and there's a lot of red in there too.
Yeah, and this one here is, I think that this is not a standard color. I think we added a little yellow to this one.
Okay.
Just to give it some color. Now we're talking about
Yeah.
10% color added to it.
Okay.
So, but clearly this was a white alpaca that we dyed orange.
Okay, yeah.
And we dyed the merino orange as well. This could have been a general tan alpaca that we dyed purple. So if it's a darker color, it's probably been dyed. If it's a brighter color, it's probably started out as white.
Okay.
This was a gray alpaca that we put some blue in, and you could see the blue merino flecks in there.
Yeah.
This is the same one. We put some red merino in.
Would you call these a tweed?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. So, and then these are all the same kind. This was a gray alpaca. We added some brown merino to.
Okay.
And this is all the same animal.
Oh, wow.
But this animal, if you feel him, is a little hairier. Can you feel it? Than maybe
Yeah.
these ones. So
yeah, and these are
you
a
can
lot
see-
more, I feel the lanolin on this
Yeah,
more than
and-
I normally would.
Well, dirt. What you feel probably is dirt and conditioner.
Uh-huh.
It's because we condition it. We spray on a conditioner to help it be smooth.
But this is really, I don't see any little bits of straw or anything left over, so this is, I mean, maybe
Well, there's some there.
I guess there's a little bit, but it's so much cleaner than it
that's-
was like,
That's also the difference between a manufactured, made from petroleum products or plastics and things, and a real fiber. I mean, this is nothing. Pulling
Yeah.
out a.
No,
Now
no.
we have some fiber where you'd spend an hour.
yeah.
You know, we can give you vegetation.
Right.
So this thing works. I'm just going to do one. I have it set at 150. I hit go, and that's how you make a skein. I'm going to turn it off. Anyway, so that's the skein winder. That's the cone winder. So
I just copy
yeah,
it
just
here.
put these in. So we have these, and these are actually not done yet because they still have conditioner on them and they have dirt on them. Okay.
Okay.
So in our mill, we wash everything before it goes out the door. And I'm gonna take, and they feel clean.
Yeah, no, they do.
I mean, they feel clean. We're gonna go this way. So all of this goes back to the beginning.
Oh boy.
you would work with this until you washed your article and then blocked it, and you went, ooh.
You were- Well, yeah, it's, I would probably wonder about that feel to it.
I don't know what that is. So, we do wash, and I typically wash in lukewarm water. And I'm going to put a little bit of, and we use the Dawn soap.
Okay.
And this is not Dawn soap, this is a scour material that we get from, comes in this barrel here.
Yeah.
So I don't wash anything in hot water. Learn that lesson. There's a reason I don't do it. It's because if you have different kinds of fiber in here and they're blended, they'll shrink at different rates. So natural fiber, you wash in lukewarm water. So you're going to want to see this. So this was clear.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, I see that dirt coming out.
Yeah, so, and this is just 3. I mean, I had a whole bucket over there.
Yeah. Now, I noticed that when I buy wool wash, it has lanolin in it.
Yeah, it's kind of a conditioner. You can do that. You don't, if you want to condition your stuff, you can. Woolite is fine. The biggest issue is don't use really, really hot water.
Yeah, right.
So this would get another rinse here. But this is kind of when you wash something, you want it to, it's laying there, it's pretty straight. So it's got a nice even ply to it. This is a balanced yarn. So if this were plied or spun, if this wasn't plied correctly, because you spin it one way and you ply it another, if this was plied too tight, well, it's not going to show it here, but
it would do the backup.
it would do the backup thing, yeah. It would do it when it was washed, and that's, when it doesn't mean the yarn isn't worth anything. It's worth anything. It's worth less. But because I have some over there at the house, I'll show you that's been overplied. So we hand wash everything that comes out of here. This is gross, but it goes on these racks again. So everything that goes in the mill gets put unwashed on these racks, and then it comes out of the mill, and then it gets put in on these racks. So this is actually the clean.
Oh wow!
If you had felt that
nice,
stuff over there, that feels really different.
That feels better, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I want to work with this.
Yeah, it matches your skirt.
Yeah.
This is so in my business, since the pandemic, people are not sending in their fiber to me. So they're holding up, they're hanging on to their money, because what I run is pretty much a luxury business, and I kind of explained that to you. So people are not spending their money on luxury items. So we went around the state and we got hundreds of pounds from people, and it came through the door, and I did it to keep my employees busy. The U.S. government and the state of Alaska was giving businesses money to cover their payroll. And that's my biggest expense. So I've had help covering the payroll. So when we went around and got all this fiber, we had enough fiber to do for the year. And we're just finishing up. We saw the alpaca. So this is kind of finishing up. And we'll probably, with tourism, people not coming into the state, spending money, we're probably going to have another year that's going to be pretty hard. So I imagine they're going to continue to do the payroll thing. But what we've been doing with this, we have to give half of it away, right? We have to give half of this fiber that we were spinning back to the person whose fiber it was. This is our half, and we've been setting up an Etsy shop and trying to do yarn sales, which is not something we did really before. So now we've changed from a fiber mill into a yarn manufacturing mill.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a big change. Sounds simple, but it's really kind of a rethinking of your whole business plan.
Right.
And I wouldn't be able to do it without my dad. He's helping. So we do sell this rug cord, as you see over there, my dad's working on. And then I'm going to take you in the house. You go ahead and turn that off, and we'll go in and show you what we've set up as the new business.